Hey guys, Taylor here and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you're a bit here, thanks for coming back. It's been a minute since I've recorded a video, but today I'm going to be sharing with you guys this glowy berry fall inspired makeup look. So if you are interested in seeing how I created this entire look, then please keep on watching. Before we start the video, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Please turn your post notifications on so you get notified every time your girl uploads a video, and follow me on Instagram. And with that being said, let's jump right into the video. Alright you guys, so my brows are already done. I did apply some of my Haus Labs lip oil. This is the clear version, and then I did do my skin prep and I finished off with the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Serum. I'm just going to jump right into the eyes. Usually with my fall looks, I do like a smoky orange look, but I feel like I want to try like a smoky berry look, but still keeping it simple because y'all know I like to keep it simple. I have a few eyeshadow palettes that I'm going to try to use to achieve today's look, but before we jump into the eyeshadow palettes, I'm going to go ahead and prep my eyes. I'm going to be taking the Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer. I picked this up to try it out. It isn't my favorite, but it's good. I've been mixing it with a concealer and then I kind of set it down with powder just so it wears a little bit longer. I usually go in with about that much of the Rare Beauty, then I add a little bit of concealer on top of it. And then I blend this out with my A506 brush from BK Beauty. And I like to set this down with a little bit of translucent powder, and I'm just using the same brush. You don't have to use both the Rare Beauty primer and a concealer. You can just use a concealer and just set it with powder. But because I don't like the Rare Beauty on its own, I find that mixing it with a concealer is a good way to kind of use up the product. Okay, y'all, so I'm going to take the Celestial Divinity eyeshadow palette from Pat McGrath. I believe you can no longer get this palette, but any pinky, mauvey kind of eyeshadow should do. And I'm going to take this shade right here, and I'm going to blend that all over my crease as my transition shade. And I'm using a A503 brush from BK to blend this all over my crease. I don't know if y'all can see the difference with that shadow from the Pat McGrath palette, but it makes a difference. I'm going to use the Berries eyeshadow palette from Juvias Place, and I'm going to take this shade right here, and I'm using the same brush. I'm going to lightly build this shade up. I'm focusing this on the outer portions of my eyes. It is a pretty deep berry shade, so I don't want to go in with too much, so I prefer to just build it up until I get it to my liking. Okay you guys, I'm still not sure what I'm doing, but I wanted the eyes to look a little bit more reddish. I don't know if you can see it on this eye. So I took another brush from BK. This is a 212 brush, and I went in with this shade right here, also from the Berries eyeshadow palette from Juvias Place, and I kind of focused that on top of the first shade. I don't know if y'all can see a difference. So this is with the first shade from the Juvias Place palette, and this is with that reddish berry on top of it. I feel like that gives it a little bit more of like fall vibes. So I'm just going to do the same thing on this eye, and I didn't use a lot of eyeshadow. I just go in with a tiny bit and once again build it up until it gets to where I want it to be. I'm going to take back the first brush and blend over my crease area just a little bit. Okay, so I used this E36 brush and I went in with some of this shade from Huda Beauty, but I find that it was a little bit too smoky for my lids. So I'm going to do the same thing just so both eyes look the same, but I know that it is a bit too smoky, so I kind of went in with a little bit. And as you can see, that's too smoky for my lids. So I ended up just using this shade right here from the Huda Beauty palette. I will have both palettes linked down below. And I applied that with my fingers. Just press that on my lids. So this is what the eyes are looking like. I like it. I feel like it is really simple. That shade from the Huda Beauty palette didn't do too much, but it also didn't take away from like the berry vibe that I'm going for. I think it looks really good. I'm going to apply some lashes and then we can jump into the base. Alright, you guys, lashes are on. My lash glue is still drying, but I feel like the eyes look really cute. Let me know what you guys think. For lashes, I am wearing the Sephora Collection lashes. This is in the style Charming. I am going to go ahead and prime my face. I'm going to be using this Milani Skin Quench Hydrating Primer. For foundation, I'm going to be mixing two of my current favorite foundations. I'm mixing the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Foundation. I use the shade 24N and I'm mixing this with my Haus Labs Triclone Foundation. This is in the shade 470 Medium Deep. I love both of these foundations, but together, perfect finish. And as you guys can see, my skin is doing really great, so I'm not going to go in with too much foundation. I don't feel like I need a lot of coverage. I'm blending this out with the 106 brush from BK Beauty. For concealer, I'm using the new Haus Labs concealer. Y'all, I have been obsessed with this concealer. So in my review, I used the shade number 40 and the shade number 43. I mixed both shades together, but then after the concealer officially launched, I went back and I returned both shades and I got the shade number 41. I told you guys that I just feel like the shade 41 is going to be my perfect concealer shade if I just wanted to get one shade of this concealer. And y'all, it conceals and it gives me just enough brightness. I've been really enjoying this concealer. So if you just wanted to get one shade of this concealer, and we are shade twins, I'd say try the shade number 41. But if you don't mind mixing, you can also use the shade 43 and 40. And I like to let my concealer sit. So while this is sitting, I am going to apply some cream bronzer. I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Tantour in the shade Medium. And I'm going to use Fenty cream bronzer. This is in the shade 06 Chocolate. The Fenty is more of like a cream contour. So I'm going to use the Fenty on my forehead and then the Huda on my cheek area. Once again, you don't need to use both of these contour products, but I'm trying to finish the Fenty contour. I've been trying to finish it for a very long time. I'm not almost done with the Fenty, but I can see the end, so I really want to use it up because I've had this one for a really long time, you guys. And I'm using the same brush that I used to apply the Huda. This is the E4 brush from Morphe. Don't know if you guys can see the difference. As I said, the Fenty, it is a cream bronzer, but I feel like this shade leans more as a contour. So if you look at the difference between the Fenty and the Huda has a little bit more redness to it, whereas the Fenty doesn't. It's a little bit more cool. I'm using this 109 brush from BK Beauty just to blend the concealer around my mouth, and then I'll use a sponge to blend everywhere else. And I'm using my Shop Miss A Pulpa sponge to blend everywhere else. You can find this on my Amazon storefront. So this is what the shade 41 looks like from Haus Labs. It gives me just enough brightness. I'm not going to add my NARS concealer just because I want y'all to see what the shade 41 looks like. I'm just going to go ahead and set my face with powder. I'm using the Sephora translucent setting powder, and I'm using the 108 brush from BK, and I'm going to use this just to lightly set, and then I'll go in with my Charlotte Tilbury powder. I was supposed to go in with cream blush, but I completely forgot. I'm going to apply it before I go in with my all over face powder, but before I do that, I'm going to go in with that Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless powder. This is in the shade medium. Yes, this is in the shade number 2 medium, and I'm taking this on a powder puff, also from Amazon. I will have it linked in my Amazon storefront, and I usually pick up the powder, press off the excess, and then pat this under my eyes. And this is going to give me a little bit more brightness, but also locking in my makeup for hours. Guys, that Haus Labs concealer with the Charlotte and the Sephora powder, everything. Look at how smooth my under eyes look right now. I've been obsessed. For blush, I was thinking about using this one from Fenty because it has that nice berry color, or this one from LYS. I feel like going with the Fenty. The Fenty is a little bit deeper than the LYS, so I feel like that is going to go better with the eye look. But I think any one of the two can work. I'm just going to use Fenty because I haven't used this in a while. This is the shade Summertime Wine, and I'm using this Wet n Wild angled brush. I think this looks really good. I'm going to set the rest of my face. I'm using the Sephora Matte Perfection powder. This is in the shade 64 Neutral Mocha, and I'm going to use a 105 brush from BK, and I'm just going to press this all over my face. Okay, y'all, so I did my lower lash line. I used the same 2 shades from the Juvias Place eyeshadow palette, but I added some of the Sephora liner in the shade Molasses. And then for mascara, I used both the Rare Beauty and the Fenty mascara. I used Fenty on my top lashes and Rare Beauty on the bottom. I love both of these mascaras, but I feel like Fenty makes my bottom lashes look a little bit too full, so I prefer the Rare Beauty for my bottom lashes and Fenty on the top. I am going to add a little bit of powder bronzer. I'm using the one from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is in the shade Deep number 4. I'm using the E3 brush from Morphe, and I'm just going in with the tiniest bit of this bronzer. I feel like I want my blush to pop a little bit more, so I'm going to take this from Fenty Beauty. This is in the shade Ruby Riches. This is the Kilowatt Foil. It's a nice like burnt berry shade, and I'm going to use the same brush that I used to apply the blush. I'm going to go in with a tiny bit of this just to make the cheeks pop a little bit. I don't know if this is going to do what I want it to do, but yeah, just a little bit, because I don't want it to look too shiny, and it is a shimmer. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this looks really good. Then before I do my lips, I'm going to go in with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I don't feel like I need to go in with a hydrating spray because my base is pretty dewy, pretty glowy, pretty hydrating. So I feel like this spray is all I need. So for lips, I don't know what to do with the lips yet. I don't know if there's such a thing as like a berry nude lip combo, but let's see what happens. I'm going to use the Huda Beauty lip liner. This is in the shade Rich Brown or Chocolate Brown? Rich Brown. Then for lipstick, I'm going to go in with some of this MAC lipstick. This is in the shade Honey Love. Then I'm going to add my Pat McGrath gloss in the shade For Real. And then to add that berry touch to the lips, I don't know how this is going to look, but I'm going to go in with some of this Fenty Gloss Bomb. This is in the shade Fuchsia Flex. Just a tiny bit. I feel like the Fenty gloss gives the lips like a really nice tint to it. I didn't go in with too much because I don't want it to look too deep, but I think it gives it a really nice tint. Let me add a little bit more. I feel like the Fenty adds a really nice berry tint to it, but this is the finished look, you guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Everything that I used on my face today, I will have linked down below for you guys. I am going to post my fall fragrance video really soon, but I wanted to show you guys my fragrance of the day. Today I'm wearing the newest fragrance from Wilhelm. This is called Faces of Francis. This was gifted to me from Twisted Lily a while back, and I've been waiting to pull this out for fall. It is such a unique fragrance. It is up there with La Capitale from Xerjoff in my books. That is how unique this scent is. You get a little bit of everything in here. This fragrance gives you a little bit of sweetness. It also gives you a little bit of freshness. It is warm, it is spicy, it is cozy. I do feel like this scent is unique, and even though it is like a spicy, woody, sweet kind of scent, I find that it isn't super strong at all, so it won't give you a headache. It wears extremely well. Today I paired it with a unscented body butter because this fragrance needs no help at all. The body butter that I paired this fragrance with is from Fenty. I used the OG body butter. This isn't one that I recommend blind buying. I'd say get a sample, try it, and see if you like it, because you have to like certain notes to enjoy this fragrance, but it is such a beautiful scent. If you're looking for something new to add to your collection this fall, try this one out. But that is everything for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.